One of the most iconic of all of the trees you'll see growing in the garden at Tree are the copper beech. They punctuate the view as you look down through the valley, sort of breaking up those greens. They're just coming into leaf now. They've got that lovely flush of colour, and they'll darken up as the summer goes on, and then you'll get those lovely autumnal tints later in the season. So a real tree for the summer, giving us great contrast as you look down through the valley. We often think of geraniums as being quite small, low growing, and a little bit more modest in flower power, but probably one of the most dramatic is Geranium madurens. You can see just a ball of these cerise pink flowers, looking absolutely stunning. It will go on probably flowering for another sort of 3 or 4 weeks, and the great thing with this biennial is that it will actually set seed, so you'll have seedlings popping up all over the place. So once you've got this plant established in your garden, you'll have it year in, year out. One plant that naturalises really well in the garden at Tree, and you see it growing in various different locations. We're just along lawn path with this big stand, is Libertia grandiflora. It has this wonderful, clean, white display of these spiked flowers. It's a member of the Iridaceae family, so the same family as the iris. It likes a dry, sunny position, and again, as I say, it will naturalise, seed itself around, and you'll have it sort of appearing all over the garden. Probably one of the most dramatic of all the flowering trees, and more for the bracts that surround the flowers than the flowers themselves, is the Davidia, or the handkerchief tree. It has these wonderful pendulous bracts which hang down, these lovely white handkerchief-like surrounds to entice the insects into those flowers to pollinate them. It's covered in a mass of bracts. This particular plant probably had some damage when it was a youngster, maybe squirrel damage, and it's reshot from the base. There's a lot of suckered growth, which is why those bracts are hanging very much lower than a normal Davidia that would be very much taller. Interestingly enough, a Davidia will take between 15 to 20 years for it to produce flowers and the bracts. So this youngster has probably got a few more years before it starts to perform for us. This is planted as a replacement for the one behind, so in time, if we ever were to lose the one behind, we'd actually have a replacement to continue the display that you get at this time of the year. What is particularly nice is the way that the Davidia is set against this drift of the bluebells. They're naturalised in the Chilean coombe and have filled this whole space, giving a lovely sea of blue, contrasting nicely against that lovely limey green foliage of the Davidia and those wonderful bracts. Probably one of the most spectacular and most scented of all of the rhododendrons is Rhododendron fragrantissimum, very aptly named. It has a lovely, fresh, melon-like scent. It really is beautiful, set off against these lovely glossy green leaves. It is a little bit lax and untidy at times, but it makes up for it with that fantastic flower and that wonderful scent. One plant that never fails to impress is the Phyllostachus edulis, or the timber bamboo. It's the speed of growth, anywhere up to 30 centimetres a day with the new shoots, then it slows down as it gets a bit taller. It really is impressive for its scale, obviously the size of the canes and the speed at which it will sort of populate an area. With all of the Phyllostachus, they're a running bamboo, so you do need to be careful with where you place it, and obviously this one takes up so much space, you definitely need a good sized position for it. This is growing down by a zolipole, so perfectly placed, a little bit of extra moisture here, although it doesn't want to sit in the wet, so it's just running through this space, and it has the room to do it. Another personal favourite, and again great for scent, are the Loderi Rhododendrons. So this particular one has a very clean flower. It has a lovely fresh melon-like scent, and it looks absolutely stunning with these huge trusses of flowers set off again against those lovely green leaves. It does need a bit of space though. It will get tall. It'll get anywhere up to sort of 15 to 20 metres in height, so it's a big rhododendron when it eventually reaches its full height. The The Chilean coon really comes alive with colour at this time of year, and there's nothing more vibrant and punchy than the Embothrium. Embothrium cochineum, or the Chilean firebush, really is a dramatic plant at this time of year. It's really spectacular, and it contrasts nicely against the blues of the bluebells and the white bracts on the Davidia. One plant that never fails to impress obviously is our Gunnera plantation. Gunnera cross cryptica, as it's more recently been renamed, is a cross between Gunnera manicata and tinctoria. We're allowed to keep it growing in this space because it's managed and controlled. Obviously if you were to plant it in the wider environment where it could escape, then that would be more of an issue. But it's very much sort of centred in the middle of the garden at Tree.